I'm Captain Andrea Coppick. Welcome to my office, the flight deck of a Boeing 737. It's been a dream of mine to fly airplanes since I was a little girl. I've flown big planes, small planes, land planes, seaplanes, and even helicopters. I've traveled around the world and had lots of fun adventures. It's also been a passion of mine to write stories, and I would like to share with you today the story of my very first flight in a small airplane. It was a magical experience, and that was the day that I decided I wanted to become a pilot. The book is called Georgia Goes to Lunch, and it's available in hardcover or paperback on my website, daretodreamaviation.com. And like the character Georgia does in this story, I encourage you to have lots of fun adventures, explore what makes you happy in life, and no matter what your passion is, always dare to dream big. Thank you very much. I hope you enjoy the story. Georgia Goes to Lunch, written by Andrea Coppick and illustrated by Meg Sedano. Georgia was an expert adventurer. She loved to climb trees, fences, and could often be found on the roof of her house, or even the neighbor's house. Georgia liked to see things from a different view, anything up high. She would climb the tall birch tree in her front yard and had a favorite spot in the highest branches that could support her weight. Georgia liked to hide among the long green wisps, unseen by people on the ground, but still able to see and hear everything below her. She loved the gentle swaying of the branches in the wind and the peaceful whooshing sound it made. One day, Georgia's mom had a friend come over for lunch. Georgia was nowhere to be found. She was up high in her favorite tree. Georgia watched her mother out on the front porch as she greeted her friend Madeline. "Hello, Rebecca. It's so wonderful to see you. You look fabulous," rang Madeline's voice. Georgia's mother answered, and the two women hugged each other and giggled as they had not seen each other in quite a long time. As Georgia's mother and her friend chatted, Georgia silently listened from high above. Madeline's sing-song voice said, "It's such a beautiful day. I thought we might go someplace unusual for lunch. My treat. Now where is that spunky 6-year-old daughter of yours?" "Georgia is 7 now, and she could be anywhere," said Rebecca. "She loves to climb trees and spy on the world." Madeline could be heard laughing as she said, "Well, let's find that girl so we can eat. I'm starving." Georgia's mom called for her, but Georgia, who enjoyed the hide-and-seek game, did not answer. Rebecca laughed because she knew her daughter well and said, "I'll go look for her out back. Maybe you can look for her here." Georgia almost laughed herself, but knew that if she did, it would give away her hiding spot. Madeline could be seen poking around the bushes in the yard. Then, to Georgia's complete amazement, Madeline came to the bottom of the huge birch tree and began climbing. As Madeline reached the branch below Georgia's, she looked up at Georgia with a huge grin. "Ah, here you are. Would you like to go to lunch in California?" "What are you talking about? Is that the name of a restaurant?" inquired Georgia, who was quite shocked to see a grown-up climbing trees as easily as she could. Madeline laughed. "Nope, it's not a restaurant." Georgia, who knew what state she lived in, informed Madeline that California was a different state and it would take several hours to drive there. She knew this because last summer her parents had taken her to California for a weekend trip. "We're not driving," answered Madeline. "Come on, it'll be fun." Together they climbed down the tree and dropped lightly from the last branch to the ground. Then Georgia began asking a million questions. She was so intrigued by this new adventure. Madeline just smiled and said, "You'll see," as she held open the car door for Georgia and her mother, and of course it was the coolest car Georgia had ever ridden in. Very quickly, thanks to Madeline's swift driving, they crossed town and soon arrived outside a high fence. The gate mysteriously opened once Madeline punched in some numbers on a keypad. As Madeline pulled through the gate, Georgia, who was getting quite good at reading, began to get some idea of where they were headed. The signs that Georgia could see from the back seat read, "Authorized vehicles only," and "Watch for low-flying aircraft." Madeline pulled up next to a square brown building and shut off the car. "I told you we weren't driving. Not on a road, anyway," as she opened a hangar door to reveal her very own small airplane. Georgia was so excited. She had never been in a small airplane before. She eagerly watched as Madeline pushed the airplane out of the hangar and began checking it out. As Madeline did her pre-flight check, she explained the parts of the airplane and what she was doing, like checking the oil, the air in the tires, fuel in the gas tanks. After a few minutes, all three of them were strapped in the small white and green airplane. It was a Cessna 172, Madeline had informed them. While Madeline and Rebecca sat up front, Georgia had the back seat to herself and even got to wear a headset so she could hear everything that Madeline said on the radio. Cessna 8253 X-ray, you are cleared for takeoff, said a man's voice over the radio. Madeline looked back at Georgia, gave her a thumbs up, and said, "Here we go, let's go find some lunch." Georgia could not believe her eyes as the airplane slowly lifted away from the runway and climbed gently into the beautiful blue sky. The engine purred gently, and quickly the Sierra Nevada mountains slipped away underneath her. It was incredible to be so high above the ground and to see everything, even better than her favorite tree. It was glorious. They flew all the way to California, which was a quick 20-minute ride in an airplane. And so it was that one adventuresome day that Georgia's life changed forever. That very day, Georgia decided that someday she too would be a pilot and roam the skies wherever she pleased, as high as she pleased, in search of new adventures, and perhaps lunch too.